So to begin printing, you're going to have the filament loaded. You are going to have the you should have the USB plugged into your computer. You should have the software that I'm going to link you downloaded and installed. And then you are going to get the power source and you're going to plug it in. And when you do, this fan in the front is going to turn on automatically. So that is normal. This front fan, that fan should always be on. And if it's not on, then you have a problem. This back fan right here is only going to turn on after about like the second layer that it does. What you want is you want that first layer to not be cooled so that it still remains hot and it sticks pretty much. You want it as melted and as hot as possible to stick to the to the tape, and then subsequent layers you want it to be cool so you can stack it on top. So that's why that back fan isn't going to turn on until you get to about the second or third layer, whereas this fan in the front, it's to cool the hot end. There are heat sinks right behind there that needs to be cooled. There's a whole science that goes into the whole hot end where it needs to be cool in some areas and it needs to be really hot in some areas, but I can send you videos if you want to learn about those. But once you have it all plugged in, you should be ready to go. You should download a program which I will link you called Cura. This is what's called a slicing software. If 3D modeling software and a slicing software is two different things. 3D modeling software will actually is what you use to make the 3D models, like your cubes or your different shapes and stuff like that. But then you have to export those 3D models into what's called a slicing software. The slicing software is what it does, what the name implies. It slices the 3D model into layers and then translates that into zeros and ones for this machine to follow and go layer by layer. So depending on which slicer you use, there are different versions, there are different free ones, some work better than others, but to me the best overall one is this one called Cura. There are many different versions of it, but I recommend you use this older version called 15.04.6. I'll send the link to it all, and this is the one that I use, and it allows you to manipulate a lot of these settings whether you want to print high quality, low quality, high speed, low speed, what temperatures. You can scale your objects in this software. You can make multiple copies of your objects. You can change multiple factors like that on here, and I'll show you how to. I'll give you a quick rundown, and I will send you a Word document of all the different settings that I have, because these settings have been optimized for this printer. 3D printing is a lot of tinkering and just figuring it out on your own. I've done a lot of the guesswork for you, but if you are to experiment in other plastics by other companies and stuff like that, there are some small settings that you might have to change according to the material and to their kind of plastic, because their formulas are different. Like one example is if you use a black plastic, you might require a lower temperature to melt it. Since it's black, it can absorb the heat really easily, so it melts easier. The normal range for PLA to melt is around 200 degrees Celsius, and the black, usually I have it on about 200 to 205 degrees Celsius. However, the white plastic, they tend to require a little bit more heat, so I would print it at around 210 to 215 degrees Celsius. It's that kind of small adjustment from plastic to plastic or color to color that you have to kind of do. But most of the guesswork for the actual printer, like printer speeds and stuff like that, and how much retraction and all the other settings and stuff, I have already done the guesswork for you.